refuse to not be first.
Do we do enough? Well, I never shut up about it.
It must have been about 16, 17. We nicked their guilt rings. Right, the bouncer's guilt ring.
This is no good for me. That's the reality. If you want the honest truth, and I see it every day.
This is Umar for IFL TV, proudly sponsored by Everlast. Delighted to be joined by the Big Bang himself today, Zhilei Zhang. And of course, I got Kurt on as well, who will help with translation. I just want to ask Zhilei first, since this win over Joe Joyce, what's the reception been like in China? Is he a big star in China now?
更高，然后其实这场比赛大家对这场比赛的关注度都非常高。
So the media report and the coverages are overwhelming after the fight. I believe that everybody was tuned in for the fight even before I beat Joyce.
And how did he celebrate, if he did?
拿完签证之后就回美国了，昨天刚刚到美国。
Not a huge celebration. Actually, I went to Thailand. It's I need to renew my US visa in order to get back. And Thailand is the good place for me to renew my visa. And I give myself a little vacation. So I just landed in the US yesterday.
Did he feel disrespected at all? Because before the fight, from the UK media, the US media, everyone was asking Joyce about Tyson Fury, Anthony Joshua, Usyk, other fights. It was like, you know, the result was a given against Zhang. People are overlooking him. Did he feel a little bit disrespected before the fight?
就不是他们想要的结果，可能是啊。
So not really. I don't really feel disrespected because I know that media were asking Joe Joyce what's next for him. You know, he said what he wanted to say, and it's all good. For me, when media ask me the same question, I always say that I want to focus on Joe Joyce right now, 100%. I don't know what's next for me. I'll leave it after this fight. And through the whole build-up, I feel like their team probably made a mistake choosing me, which proved that they did. You know, but I don't really feel disrespected in that way.
We'll come on to Zhilei's future in a second, but I just want to reflect a little bit more about the fight itself. In the end, it was, I'm sure Joe Joyce will admit this as well, it was a pretty comfortable night for Zhilei. I mean, he was landing his left hand, his backhand at will. He didn't take too much punishment in the fight. Did he anticipate it to be as comfortable as it was?
所以说就是我们之前所意料之中的。
I'd rather say that we prepare for every scenario possible. In the training camp, we prepare for first 3 rounds, the middle, and the last 3 rounds. We prepare for every situation. But I think in the ring at that night, when I hit him with some clean and big shots in the first 2 rounds, he definitely brought it up to me. He definitely brought the fire to me. He increased his intensity and punch volume 3, 4, 5 rounds, which give me a lot of pressure. But to answer your question, we are prepared, but I didn't expect to win, using your word, comfortably like that.
A lot in the UK sporting news and media's been discussed about Joe's weight coming into this fight, about a stone lighter than his previous fight against Joseph Parker. When he heard Joe's weight at the weigh-in, was he surprised by his weight?
然后把比赛拖入到后半程。
I was pretty surprised to even see him before the weigh-in because when I saw him last time in Las Vegas, he was definitely on the heavier side. But when I saw him again in London, he looked like he trimmed down and he looked like he lost a lot of weight. So at the weigh-in, I heard the number. I was thinking that he's definitely gonna put me in deep water, and he wished to drown me in the later rounds. So I was mentally prepared to go 12 rounds and to go distance with him.
We know Joe has a rematch clause. Has Zhilei or his team heard anything from Frank Warren's team about Joe wanting to activate that rematch clause next? And potentially, could that rematch be in China? Have there been any talks about that?
尽量接受，在哪里打都可以。
I just want to clarify that so far, me or my team have not received any official communication about the rematch. So that's where everything is at. But if in any case they want a rematch, I'm in. As far as the location, I can go anywhere.
Okay. Well, that leads me on to Tyson Fury, because there were reports surfacing that Zhilei and Andy Ruiz are the front runners to fight Tyson Fury in the summer. So again, have there been talks with Queensberry about potentially staging a fight with Tyson Fury in Wembley or in China with Zhilei and Tyson?
收获到大量的拳迷，
I just came back from my vacation, so everything is fresh to me. I believe that my team has made communications with their team on that matter. I believe that, you know, when you talk about Chinese market, it might not be the biggest pay-per-view market in the whole universe, but we have the most loyal boxing fans and the most rapid growing boxing market. I believe that it's the best for Tyson Fury to fight me and make it a big deal.
Does he have a message for Tyson Fury?
比如说我刚刚打完比赛，7月份我也没问题，OK。
Let's do it, Tyson. If you're looking at July, I'll be ready for you in July.
Okay, fantastic. Let's just say Joe Joyce does activate his rematch clause and, you know, in the next few months that fight happens. Does Zhilei believe Joe Joyce will approach it differently in the rematch in terms of, you know, maybe going up in weight and just boxing to a different game plan? But ultimately, Zhilei believes he has the beating of Joe Joyce again.
不管是怎么样，我们都会坦然去面对，
I think that's a good question for Joe Joyce's team. I believe that if we really make this rematch happen, you know, his team needs to sit down and make the adjustment. I will only focus on my part, just like I have been doing.
With this win, if he beats Joe Joyce again in the rematch, he will obviously still hold the WBO interim title. He will be mandatory. There have been talks confirmed from all sides. When I talk about all sides, I mean Wilder, Usyk, Fury, and Joshua, about staging this deal in Saudi Arabia in December, which could mean Zhilei has to wait for quite a long time till he gets his world title shot with the WBO. Has he seen much about this Saudi Arabia tournament, and you know, how does he feel about it?
只是大家希望看到有这样一场比赛发生，
That rumor, I heard that rumor before. I believe that's only a rumor, and that's a good wish for every boxing fan and boxing world. They want to see those fights happening. I mean, those rumor represents a goodwill.
Can I just get his reaction to some comments from his former promoter, Eddie Hearn, when he was asked about Zhang's win over Joyce? He still maintained that Zhilei is not an elite heavyweight. Can I get his thoughts on that?
Zhilei Zhang is not an elite heavyweight, right? Joe, forget came in light, forget all this bollocks. He wasn't good enough to deal with Zhilei Zhang.
永远没有那么好，但是我们自己感觉那么好就 OK 了。
Maybe in his mindset, maybe that's true. You know, I can never be the best in somebody's version of heavyweight. So maybe Anthony Joshua is the best in Hearn's view, which could possibly be true because I'm still working very, very hard every day in order to improve my skill set. So I'm getting there. Maybe I'm not the best. If he says that, okay, that's fine.
Fair enough. I spoke to Filip Hrgovic a couple of days after Zhilei's win. I just want to get his reaction to this clip, okay? I don't know if you'll be able to hear it.
That I'll come to Beijing. I beat him in front of 1 billion of Chinese people. What about that?
So it's Philip saying, I'll come to China and beat him in front of 1 billion people. Let's do the rematch. His thoughts?
然后 maybe 等着吧。
Yeah, he said maybe just wait there, just wait. That victory really built up your confidence. Just wait.
Okay, well, listen, I really appreciate Zhilei's time that he's made for me today. Just a closing message to the UK fans, because he's got a big fan base now after he beat Joe Joyce here in the UK. Just a closing message to them.
让他们见证中国力量。
So I want to say thank you to all the British fans, because when I was during the fight week, whenever I was in the mall on the street, I got stopped by British fans, and they give me instruction and strategy on how to beat Joe Joyce, and they analyze Joe Joyce's weakness for me. So really appreciate you guys. I want to come back to the UK in the short future, so you guys can enjoy Chinese power again.
Well, whether it's against Fury or Joyce, I'm sure we'll see you back in the UK soon. If not, we'll see you in China, maybe.
Yes, yes，不管是在英国也好，在中国也好，希望在中国的话，希望英国的球迷到中国现场去观看比赛。
UK or China. If it happens in China, I welcome all the British fans to come to China.
Perfect. Kurt, Zhilei, thank you very much for your time, and we'll speak soon.
Thank
you.
Thank you, Umar.
Because I refuse to not be first.
Do we do enough? Well, I never shut up about it.
It must have been about 16, 17. We nicked their guilt rings. Right, the bouncers' guilt rings.
This is no good for me. That's the reality. If you want the honest truth, and I see it every day.